We're underneath the hood of a really rare car, a very unique car, 1966 Compartment Cyclone Gt. A very, very low production vehicle. And this particular guy has a S-code 390. The original motor that this car was born with is still intact in the car with all its original components. It has the dual feed Holley that came from the factory on these vehicles. It has the original Ford distributor. Even houses the original pent roof style valve pan covers, chrome ones, that were standard equipment on this vehicle. It has the optional unsilenced air cleaner on it. You can see the original tag showing 390 on it is starting to show a lot of wear, but it's original. You don't replace that sort of stuff. The original engine ID tag is on the firewall. Everything on this thing is as it was from the factory. Nothing has been changed on it. The semi-flat black paint in the engine compartment is still intact and good. We did put a new piece of rubber on here. The other one was so brittle it was falling apart. And it does have, and you can see the S code on the serial number that is intact right here and very legible on the radiator core support. Still intact. That's where Ford had it. No trauma, no accidents, no nothing. Still there. Heavy-duty Ford radiator. Has power steering, does not have power brakes. It still retains this original single-stage master cylinder that was standard back in 1966 for these vehicles. The correct style hoses. The engine is touched up paint-wise. It's blue, Ford blue, the way it should be. It does have the original clutch fan that was released with these vehicles. Still has the original Mercury designated washer bottle. On the driver's side here, we did install a brand new battery in it. Donnie put the correct size new battery in this vehicle. Everything in this engine compartment is as straight and nice as can be. These engines were advertised at 335 horsepower. They were a high-performance 390, lots of low-end torque, lots of mid-range power with this guy. It does have a new set of silicone plug wires installed on it instead of the old type. The standard cast iron exhaust manifolds are still intact, and the original manifolds that were released with this vehicle. The heat is still hooked up to the passenger compartment. There are no leaks whatsoever on this engine. None on the top of the motor. You can see the valve pan covers are really nice and clean and clear of any oil seepage. So is the intake manifold. Everything on this thing just reeks originality. It's just a great engine compartment. Fantastic motor in a great era for these cars, 66 and 67. Most desirable Fairlanes and Comets at that point in time. This is a real S-code car. This is a neat vehicle. We're going to go around the rest of it. Hi, you're Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today we're going to present to you a really, really neat car. I'm really excited about this thing. It's a real neat piece of automotive history in the muscle car era. Very few of these guys were produced, and so we're going to present it to you. We'll go over the thing together. Really like this thing. 66 Compartment Cyclone Gt in the fantastic red color. The original color that this car was released with. I can't tell. It appears that the paint may be original. It may have been dusted over. I can't really tell. There's some very, very light checking here and there, and you really have to look to see it. But my guess it would be someone scuffed this and cleared it over the original paint that was on the car. I can't see where it's really been painted. The car just has a nice look to it, a nice luster. And again, you can see in the clear where they start to check just a little tiny bit. There are a few here and there whenever you look at it in the correct light. This is a fiberglass hood. That's the way these guys came, with a fiberglass dual scoop hood in the GT model. But look at the fitment. Cowl panel to the fender, to the hood, the whole way along, and the gap is 1/8 of an inch, right on the money. Check this out. Look how that fits. Same thing with the gap here. The paint on this car is very, very nice. It wouldn't be shining this much, I don't think, had it not been cleared over or redone. Can't be the original paint as it came from the factory. It's entirely too nice. Nice split grill on these guys, common designation on it. The anodized aluminum trim around the grill area is just as nice and clean and shiny as it should be. The chrome bezels around the headlights have no patina whatsoever, none. All four of them nice and clean. Lights have been replaced with halogen bulbs instead of the conventional bulbs. In fact, Donnie just put this one in. It was burned out, so we just installed a new halogen bulb there on Sunday, as a matter of fact. Front bumper, there's no scuffs. No one's put their feet up on it through the ages to scuff it up any at all. Fitment will not get any better than the way it is now. That is just spot on. And no chips on the front of the bumper, no dinghies, no marks, absolutely nada. Nice front end of this vehicle. There's absolutely nothing out of line. No imperfections in the paint other than, like I said, if you really, really look, you can see the clear starting to, a couple little check marks here, and that's it. All the chrome is nice. Grill area, even the grill itself, aluminum. And there's no chips or marks or deterioration on it whatsoever. Let's go down the side, see what we can find for you there. Okay, driver's side of our Cyclone GT. Again, you can see Cyclone GT, racing flag in the front, wheel lip molding, no dinghies, no marks whatsoever. Again, look at this hood fitment to the cowl, to the fender, to the door. This is really, really nice. This does not get any better than this. Fantastic. Trim around the front window. No marks whatsoever. Absolutely none. Correct wiper arms and correct blades for this guy too. Padded dash in it, and it's just as nice and clean and clear as can be. It is the original windshield. It's a tinted window. You see a little tiny bit of sun fade on the base of it here. Nothing even worth mentioning, and it's not on the dash pad itself. It's on the painted area that the dash pad was laid onto. So you can see a little bit up along the side too. Just through the ages. No patina whatsoever on the wing area. The roof's painted white, obviously, and just as smooth as glass the whole way across it. Remote control. Yep, remote control mirror on this side. Paint on the door. Look at this fitment. I can't believe this. We're lucking out with, I think, the last 6 or 8 cars that we've had. Other than that one truck I had to adjust the doors on, but other than that, the panel fitment has been spot on. And this guy's the same way. Little tiny bit of patina on the chrome on the original door handles. Drip rail. Perfect. Nothing fell against it through the years. The original wipes, whiskers that go along with the side windows are just as nice and clean and nice as you'd ever hope to find. Check the window fitment out. Front window to the back. And the trim around the window. The glass is totally housed in, I don't know if it's stainless or chrome. I'm going to call it stainless. I think the front is stainless. I think the back is chrome. This piece is anyway. Let's see. Wheel up again. Tin everywhere. Nice fitment. Look at this. Even the gas filler door fits nice. Just the way it should. Locking gas cap. A little bit of patina on this piece of trim right here at the base of the roof line where the white transitions onto the red. This is chrome. This is stainless. This is stainless. Just as nice as you'd ever want to find around here. Original hat rack shelf in the back with the single speaker that would go with the radio. The shelf itself has some sun fade to it. It's not a bright red. It's more of an orange at this point, but it's original. And it's not deteriorated. It's just faded somewhat, and that's it. Certainly you would not ever replace that. Never. Quarter panel. Wow. No dents, no dinghies, no chips, no marks, no scratches. That's about as nice a paint as you're ever going to find. You know, I don't really see any more of that checking other than probably from the heat on the tops of the fenders in the front, but I don't see any along the sides here anywhere. Rocker panel molding, no heel marks from anybody banging it through the years. It's just as nice and clean as can possibly be. Your GT striping on the side is nice and clean. Chrome reverse style hubcaps. They're not wheels, they're actual hubcaps with the correct size white line tires that came with them. This should be black. Someone through the years has chosen to try to paint it some sort of red to match the body color, but this is supposed to be black. We're not going to mess with it. If someone likes it the way it is, leave it that way. If you want to paint it black, paint it black. But the wheel covers themselves are really iconic and they're in excellent condition. And that's the way you would leave a car. This thing is original in every sense of the word. Let's go out back, see if we can find something there. Okay, rear section of our Cyclone GT. Look at the fit of this deck lid. Same as that hood, 1/8 of an inch the whole way around. Just silk smooth paint. Really, really nice. It's better than a driver quality paint job. It is not a show quality paint job. You are going to find not quite the depth on this paint, and you are going to see a little imperfection here and there that I pointed out in the front, you know, just from checking through the years. But other than that, this is a fantastic color combination, shows a lot of originality. Comment on the back. Cyclone through the back section. The fitment of this needs to go down just a hair. Yep, just a hair. The trunk is just up a hair and it needs to go down. We'll take care of that. Lights themselves and the trim around the tail light sections and backup lights, really, really nice. Couple little tiny marks of patina on the chrome, certainly nothing that would designate an issue or dictate that you replace it. Same thing, a little bit of patina on the bumper too, but an original bumper on this vehicle. You're not going to replace it. It's still shines nice. No dents, no dings, no marks on it whatsoever. 2 tailpipes coming out the back. We did not install tips on them. You know, we sometimes let them go, and the owner can decide whether he wants turn downs or whether he wants slash cut ones, or if he wants rolled tips or whatever he may decide to put on it for himself. We're just leaving them standard tailpipes at this point. If it becomes an issue, we'll install whatever type tip the buyer wants for the vehicle. Okay, last side, our passenger side. Quarter panel. Tin. No Bondo, no filler, just as nice as you'd ever hope to find. And again, the paint on this car is just very, very, very nice. Really straight, no dents, no dents. I just got chalked. This piece here doesn't have hardly any patina on it, where the other one does. I don't know why, but it does. Trim around the back window, same as the other side. No dents, no dinghies whatsoever, anywhere. White whiskers, really, really nice condition. No marks on the fender lip. Again, look at the fitment of these windows. Do you believe that? How much nicer does it get than that? Tinted glass in this guy too, apparently. Size in the windshield in the back must be tinted. Drip rail. Again, no marks, no brooms fell against this guy through the years. Chrome around the wing area, just as the other side, no patina whatsoever. White whiskers, nice and clean and original. Again, a little tiny, tiny bit of patina there. You can hardly notice it, but I'm just pointing it out. It is there. Fitment, look. You kidding me? We're really acing these out, other than that deck lid, which is a 2-minute job to fix that. Look at this. Wow. No dents, no marks, no chips in the paint, no deviations. Original Ford antenna too. Look at that with the sweep back to it. Original antenna, trim around the front window, just like the other side. Absolutely nothing. Look at this. Unreal. That's all four-wheel lifts, not a single dent in them from someone throwing the door open. Cyclone GT designation back on the front again, and we're back where we started again. Kick panel, rocker panel molding, again no dents, no dingies, absolutely none, and there's not a door dent in this thing, not a chip, absolutely nothing. There's nothing I can call. This car has a very unique history. Not only is it a rare car, they made very, very few Comet Cyclone GTs. Ford Fairlane and Fairlane GTs were more commonly made than the Mercurys. They were a little more pricey, a little bit better interior appointments, a little bit more, I'm going to call it class in the muscle car era, but Mercury was a little bit higher class than the Ford Fairlanes. Fairlanes, they produced a lot more than these guys. These guys had a fiberglass hood, the Fords had a steel hood. Had a nice look to it. It had a very special place in Ford's history. But this particular guy even has more value because of what it is. This car is a real 23,000 mile family owned, one family owned vehicle with a complete family owner history. We're going to show you in our presentation here. We have that much paperwork for this guy. Every inspection record, every registration card, the original window sticker, we have everything which we're going to present to you. This thing is just a really neat vehicle. It's original in every sense of the word. It was redusted over, I'm going to guess cleared, and then just wet sanded and buffed. Never been bumped anywhere that we can tell. Interior is 100% original. This vehicle just presents itself as an all original, real 23,000 mile documented 66 Fairlane Comet GT. It's a Cyclone GT, very, very rare car. It's available here at Hankster's. We'd love you to come down and take a look at it. We'll put it up on a rack, take it for a ride. You can spend all day looking at it, but if you can't make it down, that's why we're doing these videos for you. We're presenting them to you in the very, very best way that we possibly can. We show you everything on these vehicles, the undercarriage, the interior, the engine compartment, the walk around. If there's anything that I notice, I point it out. Patina on the other side, a couple little checks in the clear, trunk lid that needs adjusted down just a tiny bit, and other than that, you got a real superstar here. Take a look at it, Hankster's, Daytona Beach. Okay, this is the interior, the original interior of a 1966 Comet Cyclone GT. Headliner, still original and just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find. None of the stitching's coming loose on the sun visors, a nice thickly padded ones. There's no milkiness whatsoever in the rear view mirror. You can see all your trim around the headliner. The top is just as nice and fresh as can possibly be. Original vinyl on the seats, not redone, not repadded. This is originality. A little bit of sun fade on the carpeting. It's starting to turn brown in a couple places. If you lift the mat, it's a little brighter red underneath. The chrome on the dashboard is just to die for. I mean, it is just as smooth and nice and clean as you'd ever hope to find. It's got the temp gauge, fuel gauge, amp gauge, speedometer, AM/FM radio. All your dash components are just as nice and clean and clear as you'd ever hope to find. There are no cracks whatsoever in the steering wheel. A little bit of no, it isn't. I was going to say there's a little bit of like fade to it, but it isn't. It has the wood top type on it and the colored red underneath it. It's a two-piece steering wheel. Cyclone GT designation in the center horn that works. Door panels, again, really high-end compared to the Fairlane. Everything is just as nice as you'd ever want to find. It's got nice chrome trim around the brushed aluminum insets for the door sections. Kick panels still original and nice as can be, not cracked up or deteriorated in any way. Trim around the gas pedal, the brake pedal, and the parking brake cable, the stainless trim, just as clear as you'd ever want to find. Oh my. Console, it's not faded at all. It does have a center glove box. And you have a glove box in the dash too, and guess what? You got your four-way flasher switch inside the dash, inside the glove box. The light in the back of the console is illuminating. So are the two kick panel lights, and so is the dome light. So you have all your interior lights in this vehicle functioning just as they should. Again, you know, the quality of this thing, the originality is just totally amazing. Back seat, front seat, side panels in the back, just as fresh and nice as the ones on the doors. The window cranks, no patina, just as they were in 1966. Trash trays on the armrests in the back. Original carpeting. It has a set of optional floor mats in it. The seat is still nicely padded everywhere. There's no sag whatsoever to the interior. It has seat belts in the back, and it has seat belts up front too. So you got a full complement of seat belts with this vehicle. This thing is as nice an interior as you will ever find. And whenever you're looking at originality like this, and you can have a car that's this old, this car's way over 50 years old, and it still has this degree of quality to it, somebody did something right to begin with. And Ford Motor Company did a heck of a job with this. Look, even the chrome around the wing areas on the inside, and where normally these are corroded, none. Nice soft rubbers. We did put new rubbers on this. The rubbers that came on it were starting to deteriorate. Again, our inside adjust mirror, door handles to actuate the doors in the front are just as clean and clear as you'd ever want to find. No patina whatsoever on them. I can't find a single thing on the inside of this vehicle that would deter anybody from purchasing it. It's an original car. This is not something that's been redone. The seats haven't been redone. No one's put a headliner in it. Nobody's done anything to this vehicle. It's 23,000 documented miles, which we're going to show you. And you got a very rare vehicle here. Very rare. Nice find. Hangsters, Daytona Beach. All right, we're in our Cyclone GT, 1966. Really neat car. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. We have a horn that works with the Cyclone racing flag and checkered flag on it, and nice steering wheel, wood grain on the outside, red plastic around the rest of it. Amp gauge showing it's charging right in the middle of where it should be. Our standard just about empty fuel tank that we have here. Speedometer, which I know is going to work because I had this out and I drove it the other day. Temperature gauge just starting to come up because we just turned it on. Let's see here. Left turn signal blinking as it should. Nice green light there showing us our left. And there's our right one doing its act too. Clock not working. Gee, there's a surprise. Let's see, wipers. We got wipers working away. Okay, radio. Well, what's the chance of this guy working? All right. Let's see. Remote mirror working just like it should. Let's go for a ride. See what this guy runs like. I know how it runs. I drove it. Nice straight running car. We get along straightaway here. I'll let go of the steering wheel. You can see it goes. Gotta wait till we get off this curved part of the road. Okay, there. Straight down the road, just as nice and straight as can possibly be. Still going. Alright, let's see if it stops straight now. No hands on the wheel. Wait a minute. No hands on the wheel, I'm braking. Yep, stops as straight as can be. Shifts nice and clean and crisp. 3-speed Ford tranny. Nice running car. Some hesitation in the carb on this thing. It is the original Holly that came on this vehicle. It's a Ford carburetor with the transition tube from one bolt to the front bolt to the rear bolt. Definitely going to have to pull it apart and put power valve, some gaskets, and accelerator pump in it. typical Holly. Got to do that to most of them, and just with the fuel in today's world, it's something that we almost always have to do to carburetors here at Hanksters. About 75, we'll shut it off there. 35 mile an hour zone. But nice running car. It runs good, drives good, handles well, goes straight as an arrow down the road. You can see, I mean, there's no issues with it. Got to aim in the right direction now. There we go. Nice running car. Nice drives. Smooth, quiet. I mean, no rattles, no shakes, no shimmies, no bouncing around. Nice car. Tranny shift's nice and clean, just the way it should. And the paperwork and documentation for this thing is unbelievable. It has every tiny, minute piece of documentation from day one. I'm going to show it to you here in a minute so you'll see what we got. Well, we're underneath our 1966 Comet Cyclone GT. S-Code car, really neat vehicle. 390 4-barrel. Really a rare piece of automotive history here. Not too many of these guys made. You can see the engine has been cleaned up a little bit and just as nice as can possibly be. New oil filter change on it and a new fuel filter on it. Drum brakes in the front, heavy duty ones from Ford. Power steering assembly. No leaks on the engine. You can see everything is just as nice as fresh as can be. Ford tranny, no leaks on it. The tie rods are just as fresh as you'd ever want to find. They're original and really don't need replaced. Same as the ball joints. They still have their original rivets in them yet and don't really need to be replaced. This thing has a real 23,000 miles on it. It's really evident once you get under here and take a look. Floor pans obviously have never ever been touched. The drop downs in the front fender wells that come down and transition onto the floor pans, no one's made any attempt to jack them up through the years. And it does have, you'll notice it's a real thick fibrous material that they used under here, same as Chrysler did, as a sound deadener. It is not a rust proofing. It did help in that area, but it was actually put on as a sound deadener, not as a rust preventative. We'll call these 2-inch primary pipes off of the standard cast iron exhaust manifolds that are original equipment on this car. And they transition into 2 1/8-inch pipes. Again, the floor pans, totally undisrupted. These little subframes in the front, just as nice as you'd ever want to find. The cradle that houses the mount for the rear mount for the transmission, just as nice as it was in 1966. No leaks whatsoever on the tail shaft. The speedometer cable, same way, no leaks whatsoever on it. Floor pans, totally undisrupted. No one's jacked it up through the years on it. All your structural bracing underneath the floor pans are all original and, again, just totally dent-free. Parking brake, still original and functional. Still original parking brake on this guy. You can see where the floor pans transition onto the rocker panels. They're spot welded just the way they were new, totally undisrupted. Subframes in the rear of this vehicle with the torque boxes. Again, no jack marks on this thing. I can't believe this thing has no marks whatsoever from being jacked up through the years. But again, it only has 23,000 miles on it, so I mean, I guess that would kind of explain why there's no marks on it. Let's see here. Brake lines and the fuel lines, all original yet, just the way they were in 1966. Again, where the torque boxes are on the subframes, where the front of the spring mounts are, again, totally undisrupted. V-force mufflers, both appear to be in as new condition. 2 1/8 coming in, 2 1/8 going out. Straight pipes out the back. Original brakes in the back. New shocks in the front, it looked like. Someone's put air shocks in the back of this to help you compensate for the ride height in the rear of the vehicle, but it does have air shocks in the back. Those are not original equipment. The drum brakes in the back are just as clean and rust-free as you'd ever want to find. The floor pan in the trunk where it transitions up over the rear differential, again, all original. This car has not been modified or worked on or patched up in any way. Absolutely none. Absolutely zip. Gas tank is the original gas tank, still has its original drain plug in it yet. The lines are original also. Wires going for the fuel level sender, which does function in the car, we'll show you. No dents in the tank at all. This thing's had no trauma whatsoever. The subframes go toward the back of the vehicle where they tie into another structural brace that goes across it. And again, the trunk area itself, absolutely no deterioration, none. Drop downs in the quarter panel still have the original seal, seam sealer on them, just the way they were in 1966. No rust anywhere, absolutely none. 9-inch heavy-duty Ford rear end in it. It's definitely a 9-inch heavy-duty Ford. The whole undercarriage of this vehicle has so much originality to it, you really don't want to mess with it. It does have all the original splatter sound deadener on it. You can see there's no leaks on the engine. The pipe, the exhaust system is all nice and clean and clear and newish, not brand new, but obviously no rust or deterioration whatsoever on it. A couple of high flow mufflers, air shocks in the back. Everything on this vehicle is as it was in 1966 when it left Ford's plant, Mercury's plant. This car is available here at Hankster's in Daytona Beach. Take a look at this car. It's really a unique piece of Ford's automotive history in the muscle car era. Okay, you want documentation. This is what you call documentation. Here's the original sales brochure, all worn out from them looking at the car back in 1966 whenever they bought it. The original one that they used, but they have another one, a new version of it that isn't worn out from being looked at. 66 Mercury, this is all in the book that they have. This family had with the vehicle gives you a complete breakdown of the tag on this vehicle, the exact engine breakdown, everything. There's the original window sticker for it, Mercury Comet 1966, original window tag. Not a reprint. Again, everything concerning the engine. Here's the original protector plate with it. All your numbers associated with that. Copy of it, a fax copy of it, video copy of it. The original set of keys that came with this car with the original key fob where it was bought. Complete owner history from day one until whenever the family let it go, whenever we got it. So there you go, the complete owner history. There's your trim tag inside the door, your VIN tag. There's also a VIN tag on the radiator core support, which does show the serial number and the S code for the engine. There's the original interior in the car. There's the original guy that owned it. Whole bunch more pictures of the vehicle. Vehicle inspection record here. And we got inspection records the whole way up through, showing all the inspections on this vehicle and mileage on them whenever the vehicle was inspected. Ford's fax book that came with the book package that came with the car, the owner's manual package. There's the original 1966 Comet owner's manual, just a video copy of it. Registration in the owner's manual, registration card for the vehicle when it was bought. A notarized letter stating the entire history of this car, notarized by the original family. One of the original titles of the vehicle. These are all the original registrations for the car of all the family members that owned it through the years. Some receipts. Original papers from the dealership whenever they got the vehicle. The envelopes that they came in whenever they were mailed. There, you want a documented history of a vehicle? This is the most I've ever seen on a vehicle. It has everything, even a notarized statement from the original family that owned this vehicle. There it is, you got everything.